Hey, John, turn your mic on, buddy.
Oh, did I just do a Sean? Did I just pull a Sean? I just pulled a Sean on the go.
Sorry, buddy.
I swear to God.
You got to start over.
I'm going to start it all over. I can't believe it. I'm a rookie at this. Listen, everybody, I'm here. All right. Eric's here. I brought him up. Hopefully you have your Pricks Insiders with you, and you've already texted everybody. Hey, Eric, how's it going? I muted myself. It's the first time I muted myself because I didn't want to be talking through the open.
I'm doing great, Jonathan. I'm happy to be back. And, there is something I want to get off my chest a little bit and discuss.
Oh, Jesus. Go ahead. Get it off your chest.
I'm really excited about the guests that are coming on, but this is an important little something that we have to discuss.
All right.
You and I have been discussing the fact that everything that goes into the Canton Chronicle newspaper needs to be accurate and factual. And I think that one story kind of got lost a little, and maybe we can correct the record on it. And I don't.
So you're trying to say you want me to clear the record?
I do. I really do.
Okay. For the record, folks, and this is coming right from the horse's mouth, Helena Rafferty has stated that they're not in contract negotiations at this point. So I was wrong. All right, I was wrong that in my posting of that they are in negotiations at this moment. They're not.
Well,
and there's more of that to cut. We would, Eric. Funny, it's a good thing you said that because I think later in the show there's going to be a bunch of things that we're going to bring up on that topic. How's that?
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, because I have a lot to say about that, about the contract. So, moving forward, tonight we have some special guests. All the way, this is the bad part of this, all the way from Ohio, from Ohio. Coming from a Michigan fan, you don't understand how much I hate saying that, is another content creator, and we're gonna get into it. It's Lacy Jane. Hello, Lacy. How are you?
OH. Great.
Who'd you guys lose to this year? Hey.
No.
Who'd you lose to this year?
Oh, fuck off, John.
Okay, just checking. I just want to know. So Lacy. This is the first time of us meeting, but Lacy has met a family member of mine, and this is how she's on the show. Do you want to tell the story real quick, or should?
And just so I'm not awkward, hi Eric. Sorry, I was told a little bit earlier, but nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So I went on a cruise with my husband last month, and I was in the thermal spot. So they have like this big ass, you have to pay to get in there. And they have this jetted pool.
Yep. Wait a minute. You got to pay to get in there? There's no way my uncle was in that thermal spa. I'll tell you that. My uncle doesn't pay for nothing.
Him and Arlene were living up to their best lives. Like having the time of their life. And, I was in this thermal spot, and you know what? God bless, he was minding his own business. It was me that noticed his accent, and I was like, "Are you from Massachusetts, sir?" And he was like, "I am," but he was way more friendly than that. But
oh yeah, he's friendly.
He started explaining, where he's from, and I was like, "I'm actually very familiar with where you're from. I've been following the Karen Reed case quite closely. I have my own YouTube show every Thursday, and I talk about it."
And what is that show?
It's on X. It's an X.
All right, you have a Twitter show. Yeah. Yes. And what is it called?
So it's like Live with Lacy Jane on X.
Okay.
So, every Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. And been doing it for a couple months now, and just started adding YouTube to it. So that's kind of been a different dynamic, but I digress. I was in this thermal spa talking to him, and he was like, actually, my nephew is really involved. I'm not gonna. I butchered the accent. Sorry. That was more Italian. And he told me your name, and I was like, no shit, no shit. I know that he follows me on Twitter, and I follow him, and we just hit it off, and we went to dinner with your aunt and uncle, and he texted me today a bunch of photos, and he's like, are you up to no good, Lacy? And we took a photo together. It was cute. Like they are just the loveliest people. So I love Charlie and Darlene.
Yeah. So on my end, he kept trying to get a hold of me off an app that I didn't have on my phone, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, he must be in Canada again, because he's too cheap to use he doesn't want to use the phone. He'll use the data. And I kept trying to answer it, and then finally, I downloaded the app real quick, and I'm like, and I asked him, and I go, what are you, in Canada again? And he goes, no. He goes, I'm on a boat. I'm on a cruise in the Caribbean or something like that. And he's like, these people at the table kept talking about Karen Reed, and he goes, so I'm like, you got to talk to my nephew, and that's how we met.
Yeah, Charlie just handed me his phone, and I was like,
yeah, that's what we do. We're so awkward. My family is very awkward. That's just what we do. So okay, so you have another, let's call her a content creator, or a friend, right? Who,
I sure do. Another girl from Ohio.
I was trying to stay away from that, but and I did have a question. I did have a question to ask you, Lacy. So why do they call it a tuna fish sandwich and not a chicken bird sandwich?
Does this have something to do with like the fish of the sea?
No, I'm wondering why people call them tuna fish sandwiches and nobody says chicken bird sandwich.
That's just John.
All right. Just throwing it out there. All right. Well, so let's bring up, she goes by Video Jesus, and it's Abby. What's going on, Abby? Abby, you've been making the rounds. You've been on every show.
You're muted, babe.
Oh, you're muted.
God damn it. I literally
yes.
I typed, like, you're muted, and then I mute myself. Like, that's kind of
not
ironic.
just me, folks. Not just me, folks. So
I've been trying to crowd a little bit.
So Abby, I saw you on the Jerks the other night. I saw you this afternoon on another show. I saw it. I don't know what it was. So my apologies to the creator. But you've been making the rounds because the reason why I wanted you guys on, because in the last week, there's been a lot of stuff on the Sallyport. So, and everybody knows, like I said before, our show, we want to be about Canton, not just about Karen Reed, but the Sallyport is about Canton. And so that's why I want to bring you on. When I first wanted to bring you on, it was about where you found some time missing from, which I didn't see that one, from when the video of when they're driving down the driveway.
Yes, 30 seconds.
30 seconds is missing from, and they're going to say, well, it only records movement or this and that. But you got to remember, the tow truck driver said he followed the state police to the Canton barracks, and the MSP said they followed the tow truck. So, we thought, we'll know. We'll know who followed who by who comes in first. So we saw the tow truck, and then we lose 30 seconds.
Yep. Well, you lose 20 seconds, right? And then there's like time frames in between. So that's where I say, like, it's literally like a commercial. there's a lot of commercial breaks. And imagine what you can do at a commercial break of like 30 seconds.
Imagine what you could do with 22 seconds. You could have a whole phone call.
Exactly. You have a whole phone call.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like that was nice and done.
Yeah, thank you. You know, I'm not just a pretty face, you know.
Well, like the thing is like you have to look at the time code too, because like we're looking at, sometimes we're just looking at the minutes and not the seconds. And by the way, the seconds jump forward and then jump backwards and then jump forward again. It's like it's literally like Back to the Future. I think that the cop car in the Sallyport is the Back to the Future vehicle. I think if anybody jumps into it, just,
the Galaxy. You mean you mean the the Galaxy?
Think that Santa probably still exists in Canton. I mean, it is a place of wondrous magic that like, we do not have where Abby and I are located. Like, you guys are blessed in a different way.
I think everybody should jump in the magic cop car and see if they time travel to the future, because apparently the time code will let you time travel.
Well, funny you say that. Before the show, Eric and I were talking, and I have homework for you.
Ooh, I like homework.
Okay. So you know how now there's two of the same videos. One has a blue time code and one now has a yellow time code. Has anyone stacked them on top of each other to make sure that the time codes actually line up? You have. You put them above each other to make sure everything runs exactly the same. I
did, yes.
Okay. And
I mean, it doesn't. I mean, honestly, you can't even see the blue time code, to be honest. And
there you go.
Like,
it doesn't. Of course it doesn't.
It doesn't. Of course it doesn't. And you know what's really great is that the yellow time code is super clear. So we saw the whole thing with the dysfunctional Sallyport. Yet a month beforehand, you could see the time code which, by the way, the time code, I want to be very specific, is not related to like it being embedded. So when we say like, oh, the time code is blurry, it shouldn't actually be blurry. Like, it's not blurry in a lot of the other videos, because again, this is almost like more of like, think of it like, again, like a caption file. So
here's the thing. Anybody that works in a company that has closed circuit video surveillance, and they look at their monitors, you see those time codes on your own TVs. It's as clear as day. They're not blurry.
Yep.
The one at my work has burned in. You know, like it's been on the same picture for so long. The numbers have burned into the TV.
It's just, I mean, this is the thing is like that. I think the first Sallyport was 100% screen recorded. The second one, I think all of them are, again, fake players and fake files. But the one that we saw in court was enlightening, because they're claiming this camera has never been touched or it was defective. But yet we have a yellow time code, which again, if you want to switch the time code colors, you literally have to go into the interface and change the colors. You have to change the size. It's not like it just magically changes by itself. And not to mention, like, you can see the yellow time code, but you can't see the blue time code. So, I mean,
now for our guests, for our cronks, just because Abby went into the when Canton went to town meeting to ask for this system, she found the exact same system on eBay, bought it, found the exact same cameras on eBay, bought them, and she did all the testing. So this isn't just someone that kind of just knows what she's doing. She does, but she's also tested the exact same system. So she knows what she's talking about.
Theoretically, I mean, this is the last camera that was purchased by, and I made sure it was purchased by the Canton PD. So that's the only other invoices.
I have to build you up, Abby. I have to make sure you
you go.
I have your back like so hard in this. Like, I need to like push you up. Mm-hmm. Like, she had the invoices. She had to bid multiple times for this. It wasn't just like
who's bidding on that? Somebody that doesn't want it to be seen.
Well, it's old. It's not like a new camera, but like, this is the thing. This camera is like a very old camera, and it's freaking legit. Like, it's better than my Xfinity crap camera that I have outside of my fire.
I know. We've seen your cat. I don't know how many times.
Yeah, just like, you can see the cat. I mean, this thing will record faces from at least I would say just you could see detail from 20 feet away. 25 feet, it gets a little blurry, but 30 feet, even that, you can still see patterns on my pillow. Like, this is what I mean when I say this.
Oh, that's my next song. That's going to be my next song.
Patterns,
like,
Patterns on my pillow.
That
pillow. Little crisscross patterns. Like,
Gotta put that into my songwriting. Put that into my writing songs right now. Patterns on my pillow.
It's an older camera, but it works very well. The functionality of it is good. Even the motion.
I think Chris Albert uses the same camera at his shop.
Yeah, and I'm sure the same audio too. Not really.
No.
But yeah, but by the way, that's also 2 files combined. But that's not literally considered as edited. Like, that's the definition of editing is changing a file. But that's
so the other thing that got me is so there was the 30 seconds missing on them driving down the driveway. And but that camera outside, bad weather, was beautiful, right? I'm like, okay. You have now Louis Jutras, for some reason, that's the one camera that the one camera that gave you the best footage, but it was inverted. That's the one camera that they replaced because they said it was defective because it was recording inverted.
Because it was
Abby.
They didn't want them to have the camera.
Exactly. Abby, is it the camera that is inverted, or is it the program?
It's both. So like I said, and I've said this since the start. So basically what you do is, it's an Axis camera. So it's a camera networked into your networking. So I'm just going to try to break this down simply. So you plug the camera in, it's an IP camera. You plug it in to, basically I'll just put it in simple terms, like a computer. So I have mine networked into my, again, like my router. It goes into my computer, into Activision. Activision records it. But the setting itself, I can change the camera in Axis, and I can also change the camera in Activision. So when they're
you guys are following that at home, is she doing good? You guys all following that? Because she's doing. To me, I'm following it. I'm following it right now.
Yeah. So basically, it is a setting, but it's a very user specific setting. Like if I reset the camera, which I did when I first got it, because again, it's a refurbished camera, I had to reset it. And you do the default settings, it is not inverted naturally. Like you have to click a box for mirrored. In addition to the time code, like if you don't, you can customize the time code, but like we can do this.
And folks, we do the same thing here. There's a box you click that inverts us so that our t-shirts read the right, like, your poster behind you reads the right way.
See?
Or
mirrored.
Yes. Yeah, we click that on our StreamYard.
And I won't even get into the technicalities. I feel like I just get screwed with the technicalities. But that's kind of what I'm saying with this camera is that it was a manufactured camera. It was definitely like the settings. Like a user had to put in the yellow time code, the blue time code. The blue time code definitely shouldn't have looked how it should have, which was basically, again, I wasn't sure. Because when we saw the Sallyport, I want to remind everybody that we saw the Sallyport through a broadcast camera. So this camera was recording the monitor. I wasn't exactly sure how it looked. So last week, when we showed the same video type and a very clear time code, unless every single network updated all of their cameras, which would be a feat, what we saw back in the Karen Reed day 20 is not what we're seeing now. Because that time code would be the same. It would be clear. And it's not clear in day 20 versus last week. So that's where I say there is like that kind of discrepancy of, okay, so how did it mysteriously change? And also the exposure on the camera. We saw the camera a little bit darker, day 20, and then we saw like really bright. We saw like a little bit more detail. Still definitely a blur mask. I mean, a really crappy one. The one before that was probably a little bit more convincing as far as compression. Now, but
speaking of masks, did you see the video where the guy put the heat mask? Maybe it's not a heat mask.
We were talking about that Python code.
Yeah, that was amazing. I was like, I'm watching that going, because I almost know some of that footage backwards and forwards. Oh, this guy's got to pop up here. This guy's got to go here. It's like they were putting on a play. It's like, watch this guy sweeping. Don't watch this guy back here. There's 3 guys back here. But when they put the heat on and you can see it, it really gets your eyes to where things are going on.
Yeah, and that's really just like the luminescent, like the Luma values and stuff. And I know I was with the Young Jerks, and he actually commented. He's like, "Hey, I did this Python code," and I actually asked him on Twitter if I could do it. I just didn't really have enough time that week. To be honest, I was really lacking, but I had a couple other things in the works, and that was all my plan. But I'm so glad he did it first. He deserves it. I mean, that was correct.
Oh yeah,
he used Python.
Good.
He deserves all the credit.
Yeah. So, Lacy,
Wonderful.
how did you first get involved in this?
When it comes to the Sallyport, I just play the role of being the layperson when Abby's talking, like
me.
because
I need like a fucking translator.
I went to college for communications. It doesn't show. Yeah.
I mean, when you're excited about something, you're excited about something.
Yeah.
So no, Abby and I just really connected, and having grown up in the same place, I think we just formed a really good bond. But as far as Karen Reed, honest to God, someone asked me this the other night, and I was like, I don't remember. It's been that long that I just remember hearing about it and diving in 100%. And it's been very consuming.
I'll say
something that I care about deeply. And it's brought me to tears several times, like the thought of the worst happening, and I can't let my mind go there. I really don't think it's going to go that way, but that is what motivates me as someone who's worked in campaigns and seen the ups and downs and the ebbs and flows. And when you want to give up, that's usually when you just need to fucking push the hardest. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I've been really loud about it, and I keep telling people to also be loud about it. And last thing I'll say is this last Friday, I went into a very, very large political group on X. It was a space. And I went ahead and I told them what was going on in like the best version I could in 90 seconds. I said, like, hey, there's this place in Massachusetts where I think if you guys took a look at it, I think these people deserve better in terms of leadership. And if you're interested,
that's why I started this show.
If you're interested in starting a grassroots campaign and really getting the word out there about what's going on in Canton, because this isn't just a Canton problem at this point. It's not just a Massachusetts problem. This could be your city. You could be Karen. And that is absolutely bone chilling. This needs to be overstated so that people start understanding. You cannot just say, oh, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
This could change your life eventually down the road.
And I'm not going to lie. Over the course of a couple of years, I won't, every time I say to myself, could she have done it? Right? And then I look at everything else that I'm like, no, right? I every time I say, well, what if? Like, you go, what if? All right. Could she have? And I've had these conversations with people that are close to me where we usually come to the same thing, like, could she have done it? And then you're like, really? Explain this, like, okay. You just keep coming back to, no, right? And that's why the footage, like, and I had this conversation with someone. I could understand why people don't want to give up their phones. I totally could understand why. Okay. I know why I would. All right. Because I'm a freak. All right. And I got stuff in the phone that I wouldn't want anyone to see. It's true. All right. And any jury would agree with like, yeah, you know what? I wouldn't want to give up my phone either. But the Ring doorbell, you can't give up your Ring doorbell. Like some of the stuff, like, it's, come on, like this footage. Why does the footage have to be tainted? Why?
It's not real.
What are they hiding?
Why is it that the defense is pushing for the camera footage? That just shows you guys, like,
why is the chief holding on to the footage and then putting a LOL on her Post-it note?
And why is she playing the footage? And I just want to be clear about this because I think it's really important.
Oh, yes. I know where you're going with this. Go ahead.
You cannot play. So you can only play Activision proprietary file containers. These file containers, PSX.ps, exe, which again, the container is in the exe, in Activision. You cannot play a .mp4. You cannot play a .avi. So we see all of these magical files played in court, which again are claimed that these files don't exist. The proprietary files are like not given. And both the defense and the prosecution agree, we don't have the magical files, yet the magical files are being played. So explain to me this. How are they playing non-proprietary file, and I'll just put file formats, on a Activision proprietary player that only plays Activision file formats? That is important, and that's I
got one more for you. I got a question for you that you'll probably be able to answer this. Mm-hmm. Why would an ad for a editing software pop up on your computer if you've never used it before, or why would that editing software pop up on your computer that you were showing the court?
So I have to play devil's advocate on this. Like I do, because I think it was probably like an ad for, again, like Windows Media Player. You get ads like that on, again, like the beta version for Photoshop. So you do get ads like that. But I think really what it was is I don't really believe in God, even though I call myself the video Jesus. I'm not a religious, I'm not a religious person. That being said, I think the video God was telling Karen Reed that this whole case is cooked. When the ad popped up, I think this was a sign from God. Maybe not explaining AI or editing, but I think it was a sign from the video God, which is different from the real God. But the video God told the video Jesus that this was not real.
So I have a video that I want to play that Eric and I were talking about. Now, I know Abby's going to disagree with me on part of this video. All right.
It's okay. I'll watch it.
Okay. It's not long. It's not long. No. And I can play it with us watching it. Right. So back when I'm watching the trial and I'm like, I'm like, and I saw this video. This is from Sallyport video. And it is as dark can be. And it was the day that Gallagher was telling everybody who was in there with him. Yeah. And I'm like, I can't see crap. So I had screen recorded it, and then I put it into my editor, and I brightened it 100%, and then I saved it, and then I went in again and brightened it another 100%. So I had to brighten it 200% just to see all the other people. And my thinking was like, why was that camera so dark that you couldn't see anything? Because this is a Sallyport. At any other time of day, that's what you want to see. God forbid they drove in there with somebody and had to pull them out of the back of the car to bring them to one of the cells for whatever reason. And something went down and you don't see anything. And so, Gallagher's explaining it away. and here I'm going to bring it up.
I'll
And
probably actually agree with you 100% on this. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
so this is Gallagher
comes.
pointing off to everyone. Oh, hold on, because we were playing it before.
If anyone else
Okay.
was in the garage at that time.
You see the MS.
It's half of me.
Mass State
I love
Police.
the
I
distortion
believe this is
on
the
it.
criminalist. I
That's
believe
great.
if this is
So
Cooper
this is
Proctor, this is me with
right,
the gray shirt,
200%.
shirt walking in.
Right?
That's me right there.
And so Eric and I were talking, and at one point I hit pause. I'm going to try
And
to hit
that's
pause at the
Trooper
same
Proctor.
spot.
I believe the photographer
I've seen this
But-
video
or
of
another
yours.
criminal.
I
Yeah,
actually
but
do
see,
it.
there's a guy over here, right? And then there's at another point, you will see Kevin Albert because you'll see the stripes on the side
During the execution of the search warrants.
that was
what, if any,
on the big
things
screen,
you become aware of
right?
with regards to
They were having trouble. They were trying to remove the housing
So
to
it'll-
the tail light.
it'll zoom in on that in a
passenger
minute.
side tail light, and they were having difficulty removing it.
But I mean, there was so much going on in this video because look, you had 1, 2,
I told
3, and
them
then
that we
3
had
all of a
an
sudden
officer
moves
working
over.
who was in
Now he's
charge
over
of our
there.
fleet
You know,
maintenance
it's like
and our mobile operations
they're all moving
unit,
everywhere. So this is where
probably
I
had
had
the
stopped
tools
it,
to do
right?
And he also had
And this is where, and I zoomed in on this all the way down. Like, look how much red taillight there is at that point before they even touch it. Actually, Eric, we noticed this other thing that we
vast,
see.
extensive
Let
experience.
me hit mute and see, because this has never been brought up, right, Eric? The
Absolutely.
wandless.
Yeah.
Okay,
We
so
we just noticed it like
we
5
just
minutes before
noticed
the
this
show
tonight. So
Okay, so where's
hold on. So she's gonna walk out, right? And here comes wandless, right?
I'm
After
gonna go really close to my camera because I have terrible eyesight.
that's okay.
So hold on a second. I'm gonna turn off my camera. Hold on.
Yep.
Okay, go. Shoot.
I gotta hit play again. Hold on. She looks at it. Wandless comes in, right? And
Do you have the time code?
first there's Berkey. I do, not on this one, but I do. You'll see Berkey come
skip?
in. Well,
This is
actually, wait. That was Wandless with the flag. Oh, we just
there it
right
is.
there. It was right there. Hold on, let me back it up a second.
Yeah.
What does he do with his finger?
without a glove on.
He touches it without his glove,
Yeah.
right?
takes
And then he
it,
puts his gloves on. He touches it without his gloves on, right? Watch this. Ding. Right there. Just touched it. And then he puts his gloves on next. Now he's about to put his gloves on after he's already touched it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we just saw that tonight.
Magical.
But I wasn't even looking for that. I was trying to show that I'm like, look how much red compared to other things is showing on there. That they want us to believe that there was Berkey again. There's Berkey saying hi again. Yeah.
It's
So-
so avant-garde. You know what? I give them credit, and I'll only say an opinion. I'll give the video expert credit. It's very magical. It is a magical video.
So folks, Wandless
so
touched the light.
crafty.
He touched it. He touched it, folks. He pointed at it. He touched it.
I want
Gloveless.
to see the time code. too,
Gloveless.
'cause I can guarantee you there is a jump in a time code. Because see, people are looking at like the minutes, and you need to be
Yep.
looking at the seconds because the seconds also. And again, do you see how clear the time code is? All the videos have clear time code except our Magic Sally. Our Magic Blue Sally does not have a clear time code. But everything else does. And the second Magic Sally has a clear time code. But
No,
not the original.
here it is. Here it is zoomed in on, right? I zoomed in as far as I could. Hold on,
Yeah.
you'll see it in a second. There it is. You can see all the red.
There's a lot
You
of
see
red.
all the red. That's the same video that we just played where I zoomed in on it and you can see all the red tail light.
Well, see, that's hard to even know because you can't even see the color channels, but that's the point. Like
Right.
these videos were all altered, like with
Exactly.
different channels. Like even the last one that we saw, like the one that you pointed out of the driveway, which by the way, I looked at. And did you notice the cop car that went by after Karen Reed? after Karen Reed left, she turned the corner and there was a cop car, and I kind of tried to measure it out, and it looks like the cop car literally like went after her. I'm not saying that means anything because obviously like doesn't really mean much, but maybe there's a magic Sally, you know, somewhere or something, you know. If there's if it's a police car, which it does look like a police car, because again, like if you're an ambulance, you can't use blue lights. And you see multiple times, like if you zoom into it and you kind of enhance it a little bit, you can see blue lights after she turns a corner. There's a car that comes like right near the mailbox, or like right past that car across the street, goes down, and there's like sirens. And it's not specifically an ambulance because there's very specific emergency laws that, again, it's not a plow truck, like it's blue lights. So whether there's another Magic Sally or Magic Taillight video kicking around, that's what I want to know. It might not have been on, so it might be nothing. But I'm like, that's kind of interesting. That right when she turns the corner,
we have June Feed Media is watching us.
How is it that I'm just now hearing about that from Abby? Like, did anyone else see this? Because I genuinely didn't.
No.
And no. I am no, I mean, like, leave it to Abby to figure it out.
Oh yeah. Oh. Well, that's why she's video Jesus.
She knows, like,
Jesus.
He and I.
Well, not really. No, I was just looking at, because again, I saw like because you pointed out, actually, you're the one, Dixie, that pointed me to that video, and I'm like, okay, like let me look at like the pixel by pixel. Yeah, just like look at pixel by pixel, because you're like, yeah, look at the taillight. It's totally different from the last time that I did a whole video on it. And I'm like, okay, like that's interesting. So then I looked at it and I was like pausing on the taillight, and I put it at slow speed on YouTube. I tried to enhance it because I was just like screen recording it. Then all of a sudden I see this little like, you know, like I was like, at first I'm like, is this a mask? Because she was braking after she turned the corner. So like maybe they forgot to turn on the mask. And then sure enough, it was in the same traction. So I went and compared, you know, the daylight driveway video. I compared the angle, and then went on Google Maps and tried to compare where those post fence were, like because they have like little posts in the fence. So then I looked at the angle of like, it looks like the one post after the car. So I tried to like compare it as an angle of just like a fisheye lens. And then sure enough, I'm like, this would be on the same path of the road. Like it wouldn't be like a road, maybe, you know, again, like parallel to it. Like there's only one road right there. So it had to
Pleasant
be
Street.
going by.
Yeah.
So that was my
the first thing that got me was the Sallyport video of like right before they bring the car in. Right before they bring her car in, and this is the first time Abby and I actually talked, when I said, I saw the exact point in which it almost is like they shot it twice. I thought they shot the video twice, because you see two guys standing, one guy stands still, the other guy can't stand still. And then you see all of a sudden they've moved places, and then the first one bleeds back to where they originally, like, and I'm like, I'm watching it literally frame by frame by frame, and I'm like, right there. It's almost as if they said, go back down. Like, if nobody was in the garage, you never would have seen it. But because somebody couldn't stand still, you see it. You see them all of a sudden switch places. You know, they were standing like this, now they're standing like this. And you're like, how did that just happen? And then all of a sudden they move.
John. No tampering.
No tampering, LOL. You know?
And by the way, when we're talking about these files, right? We're talking about a long form GOP codec, so an H.246 codec. So when you're cutting, so if you're an editing software program and you're cutting on, again, like say you're cutting on a predictive frame or something, and it's in an editing program, you can, and you're exporting it as like a higher frame rate, you're basically adding frames. So you know how we see that comet trail, it looks like a ghosting image? We're basically telling this computer editing software, hey, this is a frame, and it's predicting these frames, even though we cut on these frames, because they're not actual iframes. So think of an iframe as like a modeling photo that's like super clear. That's like the main frame that all the other frames are basically like predicting. So when we cut on a P frame and it's not a real frame, or I wouldn't say real frame, but it's basically like a highly encoded frame, that's where we get that kind of like tail. So when you say that this is motion activation, that's not what motion activation looks like.
No, exactly.
General. But this is more what we call temporal artifacts, what temporal motion artifacts look like. And that's kind of
the
like
other
the first thing.
the other thing that gives away the motion thing is if it was motion activated,
It wasn't.
it wouldn't pick up when the guy's already sweeping. It would have picked up after the door opened or after the guy started walking from it's not going to pick up what police video wants to lose 5 seconds of movement in their Sallyport when you have people's lives at stake.
I also want to point out that Equivision also does motion activation, but it also has a continuous file. So say you do have a motion activation setting, like it will also record continuous. So
my work has a little thing. Yep. It records continuous, but a little alarm bell goes off in the top corner once as small as a coyote going across the screen, like out in the, I work at a quarry and we got wildlife and you'll see the movement. All of a sudden the alarm will go off in the top corner of the display, letting you know there was movement somewhere on the screen. And you see it.
Yeah. And also, like, for example, let's just hypothetically say that this was motion activated, right? If I export a motion, so say I have a clip from 5:30 to 6 p.m. and the motion activation only picks up from let's say like 5 to 5:30, it's good, right? And then we're missing 15 minutes. So there's no motion for 15 minutes. And then it goes back to, another 15 minutes of motion. Basically that frame, so like that 15-minute span isn't going to cut together. It's just going to be a black space. And I've tried this when you try to export like a motion activated. And again, I use this on the main Equivision. I'm not sure about the enterprise, but I would be hard pressed to say that wouldn't be the same on both, like interfaces, whether it's the enterprise version or the regular, again, the Equivision platform, because you're looking at it and you're literally exporting time codes. It's not just going to magically cut together. It's going to have a blank space where the time code is still going to run, because that would make sense, right? Time code's still running. And then it would run to like the next clip. And we're only seeing one camera. So we're not seeing multiple cameras where we're doing something from like a client, again, like a client manager setting where they do like a case file where they're exporting multiple cameras. It's one single camera. So if there's not
one camera's missing 45 minutes. They can't use the other camera.
Exactly. And
I know.
Not to mention that 45 minutes would just be black space.
Oh,
and I just want to make this more, again, you cannot edit a .ps file, which is poster. So it's like, that's basically what we call like a program string file. You cannot edit an exe. You cannot edit a .psx. So these are native, very native, proprietary containers. You cannot edit this in their favorite program, Premiere. And we know that they use Premiere because we saw it in the icons. You cannot edit these files. So you cannot edit them and then get them to play again without doing a very specific workflow. And that's why the workflow is a little bit important. I know it's confusing, but it is important in that facet.
I have another one for you.
Sure.
If it rewrites itself every 30 days, and they said a year ago that they didn't have any more footage. Let's just say the footage has a blue time stamp at the bottom of it.
Yep.
From January 29th, right? And past. How then would they find a January 1st footage with a yellow time stamp that has no meaning at all, right?
Yep.
3 years later.
Because it's magic. It's magic. It's
exactly.
a magic code.
You mean to tell me that they found a hard drive somewhere in the station that recorded January 1st, 2022, nothing going on, in a yellow timestamp, and then sometime between January 1st and January 29th, somebody went in and said, yeah, I don't like looking at the yellow timestamps. I'm going to make the timestamps blue now.
And they changed the aspect ratio. So let's just like break down like what it looks like. So it looks like not only did they change the time code color, they changed the font because the font is not the same that I can tell, but who knows? Because the blue font.
And they wouldn't have done that just to record it, right? You wouldn't change the font and the aspect ratio just to save space to record, would you?
I mean, not in a default setting like that. I mean,
No, like if you're gonna record something for someone else, and you're worried about how much space it's gonna take, right?
not
you're
with
not gonna
8
change.
terabytes the space.
You're not
I
gonna
mean,
change
let's be
those
honest.
things. No. Okay.
Well, let's be
Just
honest.
making sure.
That NVR and DVR, and just be very clear, that NVR and DVR literally is 8 terabytes. That is a massive amount of storage. You do not need to have a 30-day reset on an 8 terabyte drive again, I don't know how many cameras were networked to this one NVR and DVR, because again, it's like a hybrid for IP cameras, but 8 terabytes is a lot of footage. I actually did the math on it. I have to find the freaking post that I did on Twitter, but like that's enough for 8 months, 8 or 9 months. That's enough, space for 8 or 9 months worth of footage. But tell me this too, Colleen Crawford went in October and she found like archived files and the hard drives that
What is her side gig?
Me?
No, Colleen Crawford. Doesn't she have a side gig?
Oh yeah, she's psychic. She's a business, a video.
She does. What is that business?
It's a video forensic business.
Oh,
She also has
go
a training
figure.
too.
Go figure.
See, this is the thing. I know this sounds like a conspiracy theory, but it's really not. I mean, if you look at like the LinkedIn, you look at like the new things that came out. Thank God for Melanie Little, because she freaking found like that whole case that came up. I'm like, yo, I'm just saying. Like, I've been saying this for the last, literally the last 4 weeks. She has the ability to do it.
She
It's
does.
not that hard.
I know. That's where we came up.
Yeah.
Just to change the subject a little bit, because this show, we try to keep it light here. All right, Abby, would you like to tell the audience about your conversation with Lacy about my Twitter handle?
My God, I had no idea. I'm such a blonde. Like, I was like, yeah, we're going to be on Dixie Normus. And then Lacey's husband was like, oh, that's like a fun thing.
Sorry. Hold on. So, folks at home, when you see that flag, that means Eric had to run out for a minute. He'll be back in 10 seconds. Okay. Eric and I sit here together for like 2 hours before the show to try to make sure I'm not muted. We literally walk through every step of, okay, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. But with 30 minutes to go, he changed a bunch of things up. And I'm like, oh my God, that's where the John Conley tank came from, folks at home. So, because I know Eric wants to hear this. So I'm just helping delay a little bit on your story. But that's a real tank back in a parade in Canton. That's Canton Center. Those two buildings are right now almost like across the street from Dunkin' Donuts, folks at home. There was thousands and thousands, like 10,000 people came to watch this parade. It was, I think it was V-Day, but there's John Conley driving the tank. If you look real close, you can see John Conley driving that tank. And now video Jesus ran to the bathroom too. So
no, I didn't know.
Okay. Eric's back.
No, but now I'll wait.
Eric's back. Okay.
Sometimes my streaming gets weird, because I also have this new Aquavision. I have because I've been recording with the Aquavision camera, so it takes up a lot of bandwidth. So I have to when things are shared, I have to kind of go off camera sometimes. So.
Oh, I'm gonna hardwire right into my modem eventually. I just gotta get the cable.
I could do that with my laptop. I have it with my desktop, but I tried to do streaming from my desktop, and I have 3 monitors. I can even just turn this over this way, like that. Those are my monitors right there.
And there's the cat. There's the cat. No.
Yeah, so they're pretty massive monitors. Yeah. So when I tried.
So Eric, while you were gone, I stalled so you could hear the story. Okay, back to Abby Cagney and Lacy over here. Those are our two new. There are Cagney and Lacy for our older folks.
Good time to go get another Prixie cider.
Our older folks know who Cagney and Lacy are. I don't know if Abby and Lacy are old enough to remember them, but
yes,
I'm not. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Cagney and Lacy were. Did you see the movie The Heat?
Yes.
Okay. If you saw the movie The Heat, this is a TV show that would have preceded it from the 1970s and 80s.
Oh my God, I think I was named after that show. My dad named me like literally Abby, not Abigail, just Abby from like a 70s TV show. So maybe that's it.
Oh, that was Josie and the Pussycats. No.
I don't know. It's some
Okay.
TV show.
So anyway, so you two are talking. Go back. Okay. So folks, so these two blondes were uniting and they were talking and they were going to come on the show. Go ahead. Take it away. I'll shut up.
Oh, no.
I promise. I'll shut up.
You said blondes, and I was like, yeah, we proved our blondness that night after a very, very sophisticated conversation. Sorry to interrupt. That's all I had to say, because I would love to hear your perspective, John, as you watch us lose our shit.
Oh, it was hilarious.
dying.
I saw the pictures. I saw the 4 pictures of ding, 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 ding. I'm like, oh my God.
I was like, wait, Dixie Normus? Dixie? Oh, shit. Like, that's amazing. I was like, this is so creative. And you know, I love good creativity. So, I mean,
Well, that's where the Pricks and Cider came from.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
we have
Okay.
that's our only sponsor right now. Ever since Richie dropped us, he did donate $20 tonight to the show, but no more fence commercials.
Oh, come on.
Hey, you know what? I will get you sponsors. I'm actually in branding. Like, my professional job is like a creative
You're in
director.
branding.
I am.
You're in branding.
I am
Eric,
a brand-
Eric,
I'm actually
Eric, I
creative.
got to do it. Eric, I got to do it.
I see.
What do you guys?
see it coming?
Eric,
Careful. Once you have had a Pricks and Cider, you will want it all night.
that's the beer that sponsors our show. It's not really a sponsor. YouTube, it's not a sponsor. It's not a real beer.
They don't really exist, but
It doesn't really exist.
Can I just say, I actually really like that commercial. It's very, see, this is the thing, because I do digital. So I do like social media ads. I do Google ads. I do like freaking every kind of ad, to be honest. But like, that's nice. It's catchy. You have a good hook.
Yeah.
You have like simple type of graphics, like a good animation that like catches a viewer's attention.
John,
I like
It captures the
I-
attention. We've made merch off of it. We've made panties.
Of course.
Love
We
it.
got beer mugs. We got the T-shirts.
I'm
Well,
not
that's the
gonna
Chronicle
lie.
T-shirt. But yeah,
I am impressed, and trust me, I've done a lot of commercials, like a lot of.
we have
commercials.
beach blankets.
Thousands of commercials, and that's a good commercial.
John, I
I
think,
like it.
I think you need to show her the other commercial.
Oh please, I love commercials. Let's go.
Which one?
You know which one.
Which one? I don't know which one you're talking about. You'll have to tell me.
Let
Tell me in the chat.
Find it for you.
All right.
I love a good commercial. Like
Oh,
you
see what happens is he caught me off guard because I wasn't ready for what the other commercial was.
If you need
But yeah.
sponsors, I'll follow up next week because I do have some like good ideas, and I have some clients that would sponsor. A
Oh, I mean, listen, I got people. I have people out there that that I will constantly let everybody know that hey, spring's coming. Gonna be on your motorcycle. Head on down to the Star Drive-In. Get your burgers. Get your just stay away from OHIO. It's in Massachusetts, people.
or stay away from Canton.
Listen, no offense, ladies, but you guys can't even finish closing in your stadium.
Oh
One
my
whole end of your
God.
stadium is open.
John,
Seriously,
stop here.
your stadium
No one
is
lives-
missing.
Kitty ass Ann Arbor, if they can help it. Like, it is the armpit.
It's very
of
true.
America.
110,000 people.
I see it in the chat.
OHIO.
We are
Oh,
strong. And
We actually.
Yeah.
So, do you remember the Penn State game last year? The Ohio
No.
State Penn State game.
look,
no.
I went to that. Like last year, not last year, but the year before that, there was an Ohio State Penn State game.
we play every
One of
year.
the biggest games of the season. Me and my boyfriend went to that game, and it was so much fun. And we literally drove from Massachusetts all the way to Ohio. This was 2000. I'm like losing my dates. It was 2023. So
I will
2000
say I've been to Columbus, and it is beautiful. It is
I love
clean.
Columbus.
It is beautiful. It's because all the insurance companies, their headquarters are out there. So it's
And
all,
fast
you know.
food. Don't forget fast food. You know, you gotta have a good fast food thing.
Wendy's, Victoria's Secret, Bath and Body Works.
What? Those are all the headquarters out there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's
Wow,
tons. I mean,
yeah,
it's like the capital of America.
I went. My fiance and I drove out to Columbus to see the Killers
Oh my God,
The
when?
Killers. Oh my God,
a
the
couple
Killers
of years
were there.
ago.
Oh,
It was the outside. It only held like 3,000-4,000 people.
Oh
We
my
had front
God,
row.
You and I
We were
went
down
to
in the
same
front.
concert. You
Yeah.
and I went to the same concert. I was
Oh,
there.
it was amazing. It was amazing.
That was
I love
a fun night.
And it was first come first serve. So we were right down front.
Oh my God, so was I.
Yeah. Yep. Had the big beers, the big tall beers. Yeah.
I only saw the Killers at Mohegan Sun, and this was like years and years ago. But I haven't seen them in Columbus. But they're such a good band, and they're so.
We saw him at
good
the
live.
yeah, we saw him at the Garden a couple times, and then we saw him out in Columbus. But I'll tell you, Columbus, as much as I wanted to hate them because of Ohio State, I couldn't. It was so clean. I couldn't believe how clean that city was. It was so clean. Yeah. So I don't hate them as much as I hate them.
Yeah.
You know, we beat them. That's all that matters.
Oh,
There's no we. I didn't play.
Shut up.
So the one I took my father out to one game, and that was the game that Eddie George ran for only 13 yards, and Tim Biaka-Patuka ran for 313, and we kicked their ass. My father wasn't. My father played hockey. Hockey was his thing. He didn't know about football, and so it was his first college football game ever, and I ran out to go get us some food, and I come back and he was so excited. He's like, "You just missed the biggest marshmallow fight you've ever seen. Everybody had brought their marshmallows, and all the Michigan people froze their marshmallows, so they were pelting each other with marshmallows." He goes, it was amazing. Everything. There was a streaker that ran from one end all the way to the other end.
Magical.
It was amazing. That game is amazing.
That wasn't you running from one.
It was not me. So yeah, no, it is what it is. I don't like Ohio State. I'm sorry. I love Ohio, just not Ohio State. You know,
Abby and I have, I think, had this conversation several times. Like,
Abby will be right back. She's wrangling a cat right now.
There are several Ohio State fans who make Ohio State insufferable at times. But that's all we have here, y'all. Like,
Y'all.
That's all we have is being a Buckeye. You are born a Buckeye, and like that is the gift of God bestowed upon you. And so people just take it to the next level, and like they're kind of assholes about it. I apologize on behalf of these people. But it is what it is.
Sorry about that.
We told everyone you were wrestling a cat.
Well, no, the cats were like, not fighting, but they like play hard sometimes, and I have like a little baby cat. It's not really a
when the
baby.
cats
It's
play
just
hard.
very small. They're just playing too hard. So sometimes, the baby gets, he's agile.
I had a shepherd that if our cats did that, the shepherd would get up and go and separate them. She would go and kind of nose them apart. Yeah.
Well, so my older cat, that's what he does. So you always know when shit's going down because Brutus will just like chase after them, and then you hear all three cats meowing, and I'm like, oh God, here we go. They just like to play rough sometimes, but the baby's just too small. It's not really a baby anymore, but same thing.
Yeah, just don't put it in a corner. Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Chrissy even said it in the chat. I agree that Ohio State fans ruin it for everyone else. I'm not denying it. Like,
I don't know about that. I like Ohio State fans. I'm a big fan.
I
disagree.
No. The only thing worse than Ohio State fans are Philly fans.
Oh, my husband is absolutely in agreement that Philly is the absolute worst of the earth. Butthole of the Hudson, he just said. And sorry, everyone. But yes, it's a thing. It's either you are the Ohio State fan or you aren't, and I'm coming around.
It's like Notre Dame. People either hate them or they love them. There's no middle.
John,
So-
where did the greatest quarterback of all time come from?
What's that?
The greatest
Oh,
quarterback
shut-
of all time. What school did he go to?
Oh, I mean,
Eric-
we're
Eric
not
woke up.
on
Eric-
right now. Like, no. I'm
What
over
was he
it,
taking the
over
13th
it.
round? He was like going around the block. I will never forget the story behind that. He was like taking a walk with his dad because he didn't get in the NFL, and then they called him, and
He came to New England.
yeah.
Welcome to
He's also
Foxborough.
a freak of nature because he's so like I think he's like a robot.
I've seen 4 games live. Never seen Michigan lose to Ohio State. Just want to say, 4 times.
Well, I mean,
4-0.
Eat you when I come there.
I'll have my uncle get. I'll put him in right in front. Yeah.
He'll bear hug me. I love your uncle so much.
Oh, he's like a mini my father.
Charlie, if you're watching,
that's his.
I love you, Charlie. I love you, Arlene.
You think he knows how to put it on YouTube? He's like 70 years old.
I sent him the link today.
Yeah. Charlie, I hope
I
you're
love
watching.
that. So you're like, still like, God, that's so.
Yeah, he sent me a bunch of photos today.
Of course he did. What else has he got going
that's
on?
Adorable. That's
I
adorable.
Yeah.
love his uncle.
So,
Is your uncle in Canton too?
no, he lives down in Plymouth. No, not anymore. He lives in Kingston. He lives in Kingston now.
I mean,
He
it's
used to live
probably
in
good thing to
Plymouth.
move out of Canton, to be honest.
He didn't grow up in so he grew up in Dedham. He went to Dedham High, and so when my father came down, my father was already out of high school. My father didn't come down from Canada until he was 18. He came down to play hockey, so hockey plays and hockey and women, that was his thing. So yeah, my uncle is like 10 years younger than my father, and so he grew up in Dedham.
Okay.
And yeah, so he and then he lived down in Plymouth for many years, and now in Kingston. His house is right on the water. And
That's
yeah,
nice.
I mean, oh my God!
Like
And of course, he put this giant addition on, so nobody behind him can see the water. So all his neighbors can just see the back of his house.
Yeah, but that didn't go over well.
No. So, but
I'd share photos that your uncle sent me today.
oh
I mean,
my God.
I've gotten Canadian photos. I've gotten car photos. This guy's uncle, if you ever meet John's uncle, like,
He's a character. He is a character.
oh my God.
He didn't wear a Canadian Speedo at the pool, did he?
No.
No. Hey, Frank, what was on Charlie's swim
My
trunks?
God.
Crabs. He had
Spud-
crabs on his swim
He had
trunks.
crabs. Of course, he had
And
crabs.
it was Valentine's Day, and everyone was laughing because Charlie had crabs on his swim trunks.
He's always been happy. He's been a happy guy. He's a happy guy.
Oh,
So
happy.
I this is awesome. I love this pod. So now you guys are more than welcome to stay. But if you're gonna go, I want to talk a couple more things with you guys before you go, to deal with the Sallyport stuff. But we do. There are a couple things that I had planned that I rearranged because I had to get you guys on right away. I wanted you guys on right away because you've been on everyone else's shows. No, we're new to this whole thing. So
You're my inspiration too, by the way. You've done such great work on the Sallyport. I love it. I love
it's
it.
the ADHD in me. It's like a dog on the bone.
You just see it. It's like you see it and you just fall in love with it. And you just like, especially if you know video, you're like, wow, how did they do it?
Oh,
I had to know the puzzle.
And I'm like, I'll watch it like 100 times because I won't I'm like, okay, now I'm only going to fixate on this guy. Then I'm only going to fixate on this guy. And then I'm writing down, this guy went over here and then this guy went over here. Like that video I showed earlier. I had to put a 1, 2, and 3 up because all of a sudden 1, 2, and 3 out of nowhere are in different positions. And you're like,
Exactly.
how can Gallagher or anyone say that is motion activated when we see motion, yet we see them all move?
You can see you can see the temporal artifacts,
Exactly.
which I go to like the GOP pattern. Like it's not just it's a straight cut, right? So if it was motion activated, let's just go in a perfect world. Maybe it might be a straight cut. If it was motion activated, it would just cut, right? It would just go to black.
Right.
But the fact that there's a comet trail, and we call that like, again, like these like temporal artifacts that are going in of like, you know, you can slowly see like the trail of somebody moving. That's what we call something that's cut in a long form GOP. Like that,
Right.
It's at the end of the day, there's no denying it. Like that is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you've done really great work on it. So I've even used some of the stuff that you've done and like went back to it, even with, again, like the ring stuff. And then I found a little cop car light, which, by the way, maybe there's a magic Sallyport. Not a magic Sallyport, but a magic
I'll tell you,
magic Sallyport.
The dash cam footage on the cars are better than the Sallyport videos.
But if there is so this is, I guess maybe this is my question. If there was a police car, so I can actually pull this up real fast. I actually have it loaded on my screen, like real quick, just to like pique your interest.
Of course.
So
you just got to tell me what I got to do. Do I have to present? Do I have to do anything?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is, right there. We're gonna add that. Yep.
So look at this, right? So if we
Pay
go
attention,
back,
Eric.
I'm watching.
Okay.
So this is slow. So do we see those blue lights? Red, white, blue.
Oh yeah.
Red, white. Like that does not look to me like a tow at all. And
Well, tow trucks don't have blue.
They don't have blue, and neither do ambulances, because there's a very specific law in Massachusetts that, you know, does not.
Can't have, yeah.
So if we keep going, so this car goes magically behind, so there's a bush, right, in the daytime cameras that you can see. But look, it magically cuts right when the car theoretically should come outside of the bush.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's odd. Like, why would it cut right there? So magically the ring
right there in the corner. Yeah. Yep.
It magically cuts like right when, and when I'm talking about a reference, I'm talking about this reference point. So we see the blue car, right? So do you see those headlights right there?
Now, you see that? We know that there's another camera on the front of the house that should match up with the camera time of this. They should have, but I'm sure we'll never get it. We'll never see it.
And even this, like right here. So this is where we're talking about where the police car came out of. So, because this is just one street. And again, it's hard to tell because we are at a curvature. So like these cameras are a fisheye lens. But like we see this car right here. This is the neighbor's car. And then if we actually zoom in closer, so if we like go in, I don't know, 200%. And then, you know, we kind of do, sorry, I hit the tool. Hold on 1 second. I don't have this. I have this mapped out.
Eric, she hit the tool.
It happens.
I hit
It happens, folks. It happens,
but
folks.
I have this mapped differently on this. I hit the tool mark. So
The show is not like other shows, people.
So look at that. So this is basically what I was saying that I measured out the posts. If you go on Google Maps, you can see these 1, 2, 3. And there's probably like 4, 5, 6 on the other side, but this goes directly outside the camera. But this is where the cars come in. So we have this bush. So right when the cop car should be going past this area, the cop car cuts.
So taking a left.
I don't know
on
why they
Pleasant
did
Street?
that.
I left off of Pleasant, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this I think is Pleasant Street.
Yep.
So that's where like this car, that cop car should come out right here, but it doesn't. So why does all this convenient footage? Because again, if there was, and this was very close. So this looks further away because again, it's a wide angle lens, but this couldn't have been more than like 300 feet. I don't know the exact plot line. So maybe
it's not, yeah, you're close. It can't be more than 200-300 feet.
Look at you.
Yeah, I would say 3.
What?
Yeah.
Well, my house up until a couple of years ago, I lived 2 streets over. I lived on Bolivar Street, so I know this area. Eric, same thing. I mean, you grew up in town.
Mm-hmm.
He knows how to eye distances. Oh, I'm sorry, Eric. I didn't hear you.
No, I was just acknowledging that I lived in town.
Yeah. She was talking about being able to eyeball distance.
Yeah, but I know the area, so I know how tight this
so
the side street is compared to Pleasant
good
Street.
for me because I don't even know this area, and I was just looking on Google Maps. I'm like,
No,
I don't know. This looks like 300 feet to me.
because you can go by telephone poles. Normally, telephone poles are about 100 feet apart.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Usually, the average span of telephone poles is about 100 feet.
Yeah, so that's where really I was measuring out the distance. So the fact that this cop car, again, because we have a wide angle lens, was not only was less than 200 feet behind Karen Reed after she turned the corner. I wonder if there's dashboard, I don't know. But then again, I don't know specific police protocols if they always do dash cameras on their shift, or if this is just when they pull somebody over. So I don't know, but maybe, again, maybe there's a magic
tailwind.
somewhere.
Yeah, the Canton Cruisers are like a dark color now. That's not the car she's talking about. The neighbor's car, you saw the neighbor's car. She was talking about the lights.
Yeah,
you
so
might
we
have
go over here.
Yeah.
I can go back over.
So tailwind, it's the lights, not the white car, which is the neighbor's car.
Yeah. So if we go, let me see if I can get to that. So I'm talking about right here. So this is the car. So right when she turns, I think I actually have that somewhere. Right when she turns. So right when she turns, we kind of see the neighbor's car a little bit, right? So we see this car right here. So we know this is a good measurement of where the driveway is. That's definitely a car. And then we go more towards this factor. So this is the same road that we saw in the daylight. But look at this. We have blue, red. We have red, blue, red, blue. And then it's going behind that bush.
There's the blue. Yep. There's the blue, red.
Yep. See, there's blue multiple times. I mean, you can literally count at least 10 frames of blue because again, this is slowed down. So this is slow mo.
Right there. I'm looking right at blue right there.
Yeah. So I mean, we go this, right? And then even when it goes behind the trees, we still see the same pattern. So we see blue again. This is not, and it doesn't really look like an ambulance or anything like that to me. So that's where I'm see blue again, blue. So we still have this consistent pattern, but wait for it. So this is where it should come out of the bush, right? And then it will cut. It cuts. So it seems to always cut on very convenient times. Why did it cut right at that moment? I mean,
they don't want you to see it.
Maybe it was a pre-record. It just seems very convenient. Again, it could have just been the pre-recording times. I don't know. I'm not going to judge because I haven't seen the camera settings. But I'm just saying it's very convenient that a cop car, right when Karen Reed turned the corner, is right behind her and then just cuts right before you can actually get it in clear distance to see what it actually is. But it is, you can't have blue lights on ambulances. You can't have them on tow trucks. So that's what I'm assuming that it, again, is probably a police car. But that's just speculation. But again, it's Oz, so who the hell knows?
Folks, if anyone's got a quick question for either one of these ladies, throw it in now. Let's go with Abby. Where are you next?
So I'm going through all the Sallyport stuff. So I was really focusing my time on really the proprietary cameras. So the cameras again, when I analyzed last week of the footage with the tow truck outside the exterior of the Sallyport. So that's where I've been trying to focus my energies on again, the footage that we know were the police cameras. My next step is really just analyzing the ring because the ring is, again, these are MP4 files. So they're going to be hard, especially if you don't have the file, they're going to be hard to, what's the word? You can debunk them visually. So I'm going to start looking at those, but those are just more, they're more difficult because again, that they're not proprietary files. So
because it's MP4.
It's MP4. So it's just, I mean, those specific files you really debunk on a visual level just because you say hey, this is a proprietary file. I know this is not proprietary because we're literally seeing edits in a proprietary file, which if I'm making edits, I can't play it back in Activision. So I know that those files are definitely but the other files, which again are very unusual because they're saying too, it's we don't have the metadata, we don't have the timestamps. That's odd to me too. So I'm gonna try to at least try to see if I can debunk them visually. And I think that your work on at least the driveway video is actually pretty good because we were talking about it. You saw the white light in the last last video batch, and before that we didn't see anything. And I double checked it. That's why I actually looked at that first video where I found the cop car. So
the first thing that I have the first thing I ever caught was the lack of cars in the driveway at 34. That's what got me really going, like, well, wait a minute. If Julie's telling the truth that she showed up and pulled into a car, pulled behind a car to put the donuts in it, well, at 7 o'clock there was no car because Gallagher took a picture, and we saw from Dashcam footage when I'm watching the Dashcam footage. I'm like, okay, there's no car there, but then McCabe's car is there, but they already acknowledged that McCabe's car was in the driveway. Well, that means somebody had Brian Jr.'s car because it wasn't there at 6 to 7, but it was there at 8 when Julie showed up. Who had his car? So that was the very beginning of me going, something's not right here. Once again, like I said to people, every time you want to say, well, what if, not, I don't want to say it, but every time you question yourself saying, what if she did it? What if she hit him? And like, okay, here's another one. What if she hit him, didn't know, and then they wanted to make sure they pinned it on her, right? Well, that's still wrong. We know that's wrong. But then you go through all this stuff and you're like, well, no, that it didn't happen that way either.
Yeah.
So every time you question yourself and then you see what they put in front of us, right? The fact that Gallagher says he got all the way down to the ground with the leaf blower. We saw the leaf blower video. That was shot with an iPhone. It was the best video of everything they presented. It was better than Sally.
Professional video cameras that were literally employed all over Canton.
Exactly. So we saw what he did with a video with a leaf blower down to bare ground and no taillight pieces. Mm-hmm. And then they want us to believe that at 5 o'clock at night. The other thing that gets me is Gallagher says that he left his house in Milton, went to the police station for cold weather gear. You mean in 18 years or however many years he was a Canton cop, he had no cold weather gear at home. He left it all at the station, but he did drive around with a 12 by 12 tent in the back of his vehicle. It doesn't make sense what they tell you.
Because it's
They
magic.
lie about the littlest things.
Yeah.
It's like that.
At least tell us the truth.
It's the
tell us where.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Magic things just appear.
Yeah. Like the red Solo cups.
Yep.
Did they really come from Tommy Kelleher? Did they? Just saying.
I mean, I'm just going to say this. Like, Canton should be kind of like the stomping grounds for the next Toby Keith concert where they say red Solo cups. That would be great.
Oh. And if they're going to lie about the littlest things, what else are they lying about? And that's what we're going to get in after we say goodbye to you ladies. Me and Eric are going to get into some of the other things that are going on in town other than the Karen Reed case. Because that was the thing. We want to make sure that we got into everything, the election, the other things going on at the police department, the Sallyport, the Karen Reed case, the Birchmore case. We want to open it up to all the other people and then have, ladies like you guys come on and entertain us for a little bit.
Thank you so much for your invite. I really appreciate it.
I hope guys, oh, right here. You guys nailed it. See, you guys nailed it. See that right there? Oh no, wait, brother. That was me. Sorry. I read it too quickly. Let me get rid of that. Somebody say something nice about these ladies real quick so I can put it up.
Oh, there were nice comments. Everyone's
we have nice.
I don't have I am so struggling with wearing my cheaters that if you ever saw my setup right now, I have like a 53-inch TV about 5 feet away from me so I can try to right there. Eric was supposed to be putting all these up, by the way, but he's just been smiling up there in the corner. Oh, here we go. Thank you. Now I got my cheetahs. Look at that. So now I can read everything.
I love that.
And then you can take them off. Look how old I am. I can take them off and hang them around my neck. I'm not.
I have a hard time seeing.
I'm not advertising them, but if you're over 50 and you want some glasses, they're called Clicks. You can get them at Bass Pro Shop or you can go to Click. And it's not an advertisement. But yeah, And that's
It
how I
should
do. I
be.
hang them
Maybe
around my
it
neck.
should be.
Click.
It should be.
I know.
This guy, you
I
need to
know.
make sure that he gets your, whatever. Do
Yeah.
sponsorship.
So I get
Yay.
the TV, and I try not to look at the laptop down below because I'm just like, oh, Jesus, this will be me all night long. This would be me.
So John will
Don't
be
touch the
on
mic.
my show
Yeah.
next week, not this week, next week. Wait.
I'm good. Oh,
Some hockey.
if I am, I'm going to be late because
Yeah.
it happens once a year. I am, I evaluate this other town. I think it's a city, actually, in Massachusetts. I've done it for probably 6-7 years ago, where I have to stand on the ice for a couple hours, 4 nights, and basically say, you're good, you suck. You're good, you suck. And then they get put on teams for the
That's
next
cute.
year.
You're like a coach. Like, that's so fun.
I'm an evaluator. Yeah, I evaluate. So when it was is
Evaluator.
that town wanted to take the politics out of their youth hockey. So they hired the company I work for, this outside company, to come in and evaluate kids. That way someone can't say, well, he's on because the coach likes him, or right? So we're the outside company that comes in and watches all these kids to tell them where they're going to play the next year.
My ex-boyfriend, he played AAA hockey,
Yeah.
and he was supposed to go to Canada to the higher rank, and
Uh-huh.
he tore his hip in
Ouch.
half, like ripped it. The
Oh.
evaluator. I'm glad Glenn picked up on that.
Holy-
Like the intimidator, but the evaluator.
I'm the evaluator. There you go, people. I'm the evaluator.
Yep, I did
The
it.
other people got the intimidator. I'm the evaluator.
Put your glasses on.
That
Oh.
was great. So yeah, I'm familiar with this. You're good.
Yeah.
You're good. You suck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys.
Well, it's a 1 through 5. I just didn't want to say, you're a 1, you're a 2, I don't give 1s and I don't give 5s.
I think if that's
Yeah,
the case-
I do that for ratings. I call it like
I try not to.
Rotten Tomatoes or 5 Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
I like to call
Yeah.
people's babies ugly. I don't know. I just do that.
So,
as far as content wise.
yeah. So ladies, let's go. We'll go Lacy first. Lacy, what's your channel?
It's I really didn't think this through when I wrote it out. Kind
Me
of like
either. That's why I'm Dixie.
Yes. Lacy on X.
Lacy on X.
That'll be easy to find.
Come on to the club. Lacy on X. Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Wait, guys, pull up my. Can you get rid of that that question? And
Yeah. Of course I can.
it-
Hi.
And then it'll say
There it is. Lacy
Lacy
X.
on X.
Lacy on X. At Lacy on X.
Thank you for
Right?
and then on X, which is where I'm more.
And it's Thursday nights at 7.
Yes, I'm gonna be adding a show.
Okay.
once a week.
And is it, and what else? Is it just Karen Reed, or is it other things too?
So the show that I'm gonna be adding is gonna be a lot of just ADD moments, and it's not gonna be anything. It's not gonna be no mean talk. It's gonna be
Right.
like, hey guys, let's chat about what's going on, and people can talk about just about anything. I think that's where I'm going with it, because
Yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah.
But I greatly appreciate that you guys had me on. Abby, I love you. And I will see you guys. Bye, Eric, the silent man.
Bye, Lacy.
Sorry, I didn't.
John does a lot of talking, so I just need to
do.
make sure that he doesn't get off the rails.
I've got yelled at. I got yelled at by my fiance. She's like, you never let Eric talk. And I'm like, he doesn't want to do all the talking. Sometimes he's happy. Let's just say he's happy up there in that corner. He's very happy and content, if you know what I mean.
When you
Okay.
get off
He's very
the rails,
content
we'll
some
get
nights.
Back on the rails.
Some nights he's very content up
I'm
there.
always pretty content up here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
John,
like it. I like
it was lovely.
Thank you.
I'm sending your uncle photos, and we're
Yep.
gonna be on each other's Christmas cards. And
You don't want one of my cards.
yes,
I want one of your cards. I want
Oh
a
my
Dixie
God.
Harvest card.
I sent out Christmas cards for a couple years in a row, and my buddy, he was a Mass State Trooper, he put it on his tree without telling anyone, and then he called me one day. He goes, "My mother's over. She's been staring at the tree for 5 minutes now." I'm like, I'm just waiting for her to ask me, whose picture is that in the tree? Not gonna tell you what it was, but it was me and the fiance.
I have a feeling I know where that's.
It was one of those couples awkward pictures, Christmassy.
I like it. I
Yeah.
think it's fun.
Yep.
See you later.
See you, Lacy.
So, all right, Lacy, thank you. Oh my God, I thought she'd never leave. No, no, I say that to everybody. I don't.
I mean, probably me. I mean, I'm the one that's always on Slack because I just talk.
No, because when I talk to her, she's like, "Oh my God, we're best friends. We play off each other," and I'm like, "Well, that's what I want. I want something different. I didn't want to go through, all the metadata that I could follow probably about 75% of it, which I can, but I know a lot of people can't.
I mean,
Yeah. No, I could follow 75% of your rappers and all of that. I get it. It's
John,
just,
someday you'll have to explain to me why the Ring camera footage looks so clear, but the Sallyport doesn't. But that's for another time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, simple explanation because the other footage is cooked. I mean, all of them are cooked, really, but it's just easier to alter an MP4 than it is a .ps or I don't know, but.
I wonder if Hammer and Hank is looking for the missing video still. Is he in there saying, "Hey, I know there's 42 more minutes. Give it to me."
The fact that that people drove by, according to their own testimonies, right? Other vehicles drove by the library. Other vehicles drove by. You could have verified the fact that Allie drove Colin home and she went by the library just by showing that footage, and then it would have said, "Yep, that either yes or no, that story holds water." Sorry, my cousin Vinny.
It probably doesn't exist anymore because it's all magic. They just deleted it all.
So you could have done that. You could have gotten it from the temple on people driving by the temple. You could have said, "You know what? These people are telling the truth. These people aren't." Just by looking at all the other footage, if they had allowed them that footage. But they didn't.
It also cuts very conveniently. It's always like, maybe I think the Sallyport might be like the longest clip that they have. But why are they all clipped? Let's just be honest. Like, there's a very full recording file, and like, why doesn't the defense have like a recording file, like a longer file? And I think that's also my problem with it too. It's just like it cuts at very convenient moments, like it just magically goes missing. So that's kind of my spiel on it.
Yeah. So this is a question. I probably have the answer. You haven't talked to the defense, have you?
No. I mean, I sent like an email, so I've just been kind of like sending emails and stuff. But I mean, I'm not probably like one of like 1,000 people that have been contacting them. So like, I try to just keep it like, I kept like the email short. I have like listed out like very specific things, but even stuff that I won't really talk about on a podcast, just because again, I don't want people to re-engineer it type of thing. But I have been in contact with them, but I don't obviously I wouldn't make a good expert witness because I have been trying to debunk this Sallyport for like the last like 6 months, 7 months.
Yeah.
So like I would never be able to be a witness. I do know good people that could be witnesses. And then also just like provide material for like their expert witness to be like, okay, this doesn't make sense. Yeah. And that's really where I'm going on all these podcasts, even though I'm not a professional on-air talent, obviously.
And for the record, right? 98%, give or take. What you're saying?
Oh, for my analysis, it's 98%.
Yeah, what you're saying?
Down. 98%
give or take.
Down, 2% magic.
There you go, 2% magic. 98% down, 2% magic. See, I pay attention.
Method A or method B. So it's literally 98%.
This is all, folks, this is all her opinion.
all my opinion.
There you go.
Yep, all my opinion.
The disclaimer. Nowadays, you got to put a disclaimer up for everything. I know.
I did put a disclaimer for 2% magic because there are magical things that happen in Canton. So I could be completely wrong. It's all like magical.
Right. Okay. Are you on any other show? Are you on any other shows coming up?
Not yet, but you can follow me. So I'm going to be posting some more videos. So I will post the workflow. I'm just trying to figure out a way to say it like simply.
And people, she's Video Jesus on Twitter.
So you can hashtag me because everybody hates hashtags, but I love a good hashtag.
Love a good
Makes it easier
hashtag.
to find.
Eric, don't you like a good hashtag?
I like a little hashtag.
I like a little
I
hashtag.
like a good hashtag, kind of like Hank. I'm a fan of the hashtags.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can find me at hashtag Video Jesus. So if you just hashtag that, you'll find me. Also, my Twitter handle is Abby. So just ABBYELIZABT on Twitter. So you can find me there too. And then my YouTube channel is at CT Video Jesus. So I'll be posting more videos there as well.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Did you have fun?
I had fun. I did. Dixie Normus.
Are we the best show you've been on tonight? Have you been?
Honestly,
Is this the best show tonight?
Yes, you blew my mind this week. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was between your Twitter handle and Hank's non-existing website that has one page and like empty about and contact pages. I mean, this week's been.
But remember that was who was the? Remember when Mello when his when you pull up his work pages he had 3 L's. It was MELLO. You know, when you go to his site. No one's. Yeah.
I had nightmares.
Hey, by the way,
on Hank.
By the way, hashtags are still valid on TikTok. So we do have a TikToker. One of our great mods who wields a wrench. She's a huge TikToker, and hopefully she'll be on one night talking about a bunch of stuff too. Yeah, Boozy's awesome.
By the way, Boozy Beauty is awesome. She found some great content today.
She's awesome.
She found some awesome content. So thank you. I actually said I love you today to her.
Yeah,
so,
she's awesome. She went to Dean with my stepdaughter. They didn't know each other, but yeah. So
awesome.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. So everybody go see her. And you know I'm gonna say it as soon as I knock you off. As soon as you're gone. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say, oh my God, that girl could talk forever. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I do it to every guest. No, I do it. I do it to every guest.
It's okay.
All right.
It makes sense a lot of the time. But have a good rest of the night.
Bye. Thank you.
See you later.
Well, she was good, huh? They were both good.
That was awesome.
They were both good. So now we can get to a little nitty gritty, which is not Karen Reed related, right?
Kind of. Hey, listen, we're not opposed to talking about Karen Reed. So what are you wearing?
No, we're not. But not everything on the show. I mean, it's Canton stuff, and it does tie to Karen,
of course.
So, we all know, like earlier tonight, I apologized for jumping the gun and in saying that the Chiefs' contract was already under negotiations when I found out that it's not ongoing yet. But there's issues with that tie to people of Canton. Remember, in the past couple of years, we've noticed that there's been a lack of accountability with the Canton Police Department, and there's been negligence. All right? We can go through a couple of them. Officer Tim Taylor, Detective Tim Taylor, whatever his rank was at the time. Yes, it was an accident. His dog suffered a slow, preventable death inside his private vehicle due to extreme heat because he brought it to work thinking he would then bring it to the doggy daycare when it opened. And it didn't happen. The dog was in the Jeep. He ended up going into Boston for the day. He came back and he found it dead. We know that Massachusetts law prohibits leaving animals in extreme temperatures, yet he faced no charges. We would have gotten charges. Mm-hmm. He got paid leave. They covered it up. They blocked the entrance. They had the animal control officer of that that day come and retrieve the dog, which they held on to for probably about a week before they brought it down to be cremated. There was no police report. There was no summons, no investigation, only because he was a cop. That's the only reason they covered it up. Maybe, maybe not. They may have covered it up because they didn't want more scrutiny because of the Karen Reed stuff. They even paid off the books a cleaning company to come in and clean his vehicle, which, and hey, I wouldn't either. I probably wouldn't want to either. He never drove again. He got rid of the vehicle. So that's one of the things. This is under Helena's watch, right? She's the chief. They gave her a 1-year contract. You had the biggest turnout in an election, a special election, to have an audit. Is the audit going to show this? If the audit doesn't show anything about this, you know it was cooked. I'm telling you right now, you know it was cooked, because there are people that all know about this. They know this happened, and it's showing a clear double standard. That's one of the things.
And the other thing that concerns me, John, and I know this, we've known this for a long time now, but the audit committee is going to get this information from Five Stones on April 1st, I believe, at least a rough date anyways.
Yep.
That's 7 days before an election. And from what I understand, the information's not going to be given to the public until the end of the month.
So, okay, so let's do this in reverse. Helena's contract is up in June. The town has to give her 30 days notice on whether they're going to renew her contract. It's in there. If they don't give her 30 days, does that mean it gets an automatic 1-year extension? Like if they make it to day 30. So, okay, her contract's up in June. So now back it up 30 days. April. What's in April? The election. Right?
It'd be interesting.
We'd have to see what day in June her contract is.
It'd be interesting to see that contract and see if there's some type of trigger that if they don't make a decision by a certain date, does a new contract automatically
June 1st.
And even if
her contract's up June 1st. So it's June 1st. So that means 30 days before is May 1st. Okay?
Yep.
Okay. So May 1st, they have to let her know. Okay. Now let's back it up another 30 days. So April 8th is the election, right?
Mm-hmm.
So April 1st, they released to the town, not to the folks. April 1st, they released the information to the town. So you're telling me, and once again, are you trying to say that the select board is going to hinge their whole yes or no on just the audit or on everything we've seen over the past year? They only gave her a 1 year. And then what? Let's see what the audit brings in. If the audit brings in nothing, we'll give her another 1 year. But we've seen all the other things. How about the LOL? How unprofessional is that? Sending off a Post-it note with footage that you sat on. You sat on. You sat on footage. You sat on. There was more. They had the footage. They went to Canton Cable and deleted 8 minutes of Higgins' speech, right? So at what point do you say, what's going on over there?
And the town should absolutely have all the information before they, go into an election. What's going to happen if they don't get this information, however the election turns out. But and we don't know what the information is that the Five Stones will turn up, but we all want to know. And
the select board meets every other week, so you're looking at how many? So 2 weeks. You're giving them 2 weeks to decide. You're giving them 2 meetings, executive sessions, to decide whether or not they want to continue with the chief or not.
And will the select board be privy to all this information before the public?
I would hope so. They're in charge.
Yeah,
they're in charge, right? So the newest information that came out in the Karen Reed case is that you had Higgins on his phone outside of the station. You never got that footage in the first 2 years and a trial. Now you get it. You had them delete his footage from an event that had a couple hundred people at it. But she wanted it gone because it aired on Canton Cable. How many other people are watching Canton Cable to see if some ATF guy is undercover or not? Come on. Really? That's your excuse?
Well, think of how many times we would have seen that video.
We would have seen the speech.
Even if it still existed
We
on
would have seen the speech.
all these different podcasts.
Seems like there's a lot of manipulating going on and not just chiefing. You know?
Oh, there's a lot of manipulation going on.
There's a lot of manipulation going on. So you have that. So you had the Canton kid. You also had the Craig Casey's death. You didn't have footage of the Dashcam footage the first time they went through, but you had it the second time. And then the excuse you give the family is the system overwrites every 30 days. It happened on the same day. How do you have the second footage, but you don't have the first footage? All right, that might be not on her. That's on her predecessor because Berkowitz was still in charge back then, right? But, there's a pattern, people.
It's still a lot of magical video BS going on.
A lot of magical BS going on. Why is it? How about this? Why is it Lally, and this isn't just the Canton, this is Karen also. Why is it Lally put on Gallagher to talk about what we looked at earlier, the footage, and asked him who else was in the Sallyport? Why not put Wanless on? Because we just watched him touch the taillight.
Yeah. The other thing about that taillight that bothers me, John, is when the taillight comes out, Wanless takes it out. I assume he gave it to the criminalist that was there, the woman that was overseeing that for the state police.
Yep.
My assumption is that she did whatever tests she needed to do or put it right into an evidence bag. Not a stop and shop bag, but a true evidence bag. And then all of a sudden it appears that the taillight later on, I don't know when, seems to have a lot more missing parts than what we just saw on that video.
Eric, we watched them use their iPhone to videotape Gallagher leaf blowing snow.
Yep.
You mean to tell me nobody could pull out their iPhone to videotape Wanless working on that car? Instead, we had to rely on Sallyport footage from the ceiling? That's what they want us to expect? Mm-hmm. Every one of them has iPhones. I'm betting we all pay for all the town's cops' iPhones. So, they want you to believe that this is the best that they can do. This is the best.
They want you to believe, well, we're a small town police,
right?
And with we don't run into these situations every day. This never happens. So right. we were totally caught off guard.
We got a guy that owns a auto body that could come and take the taillight out. Okay, videotape it.
Right.
Videotape it. We just saw him touch it with his fingers and then put his gloves on.
And he didn't have to fill out any reports or anything about it.
No reports. No chain of custody. And this is coming from a department in which she loves reports. Right? What's his name there? Sorry, not Chip Yeaton, the other one. Brendan Healy. Brendan Healy got in an accident with the other SUV, backed into a tree, ran right down to the police department and filed his report. Right? Mm-hmm. You filed a report and you took pictures of the car. But then you don't do any reports for this. No reports. No reports saying, hey, we had Wanless come in and we videotaped exactly what he did. Nothing.
You'll
never know what he did.
Yet his name got brought up in a court case
his name court case. Peter Murphy knew about it. He told Sean on the Gulf about it 2 years ago.
Yep.
Year and a half ago. They knew about it. All right, but it's a big poo-poo. It's like, nope, it was a wandless never happened. So, there's that.
And then we watch 5 minutes before our show starts and realize that his finger touches the taillight.
We weren't even looking for that. I'll pull that back up, folks. I'll pull that back up. Yeah, let's actually give me a minute. I'll pull that up right now. And I mean, I couldn't believe that we found that.
And John, I'm no expert in this stuff by any means, but common sense tells me that they would have taken that taillight out, put it in a clear evidence bag. They would have
labeled it.
They would have, and before doing so, taken photos of it.
Yeah.
Put it in there, and then but it showed up in court in like what looked like the Stop and Shop bag.
Yep. I muted it, folks, because we don't need to hear Gallagher. So right here, once again, why do we need to hear Gallagher telling us what's going on when you could have had Wandless, because he literally touched the taillight? Excuse me. Right? And I did that. I put the people's names up here because I got tired of watching them flip all over the screen. First this guy's here, then he's over here, then this guy's here. Right? I'm like, it shouldn't be happening. It really shouldn't be happening. Move ahead in a minute. I'll try and stop it right when we see him. But there, 1, 2, 3. This guy moves over here, right? So now it's 1, 2, 3, and Gallagher. And then all of a sudden, this guy's going to be gone in a minute. Yep, he's gone. The other two left. Look at that. Two guys gone, just like that. Right? Now you get the to the point where they start talking. Look at all that red. Look at that right there. Look at all that red.
Mm-hmm. I
see all that red. Please tell me I'm not the only one that sees all that red.
It's obviously all there. I mean, not all.
Okay.
A little.
There's the blue gloves. There's the blue gloves from the MSP criminologist. But we're going to see him come over, touch the taillight, and then he goes and puts his gloves on in about a second here. So she looks at it. Here he comes. There's Berkey looking at it. Did you see what else happened a second ago?
He almost. He might
did you see what just happened a second ago? I just see this too. Watch this. So she. Let me back it up a little more because it was right before that. Right? So she looks at it, and then all of a sudden this guy pops up, right, with his gloves. Now this guy looks at it, right? Oh, right there. There he goes. There he goes. And then Wanless shows up and touches it. Oh, there he goes. Let's. I'm gonna zoom in on that tomorrow.
Let me touch it before.
There you go.
Before I put my gloves on, and
let me go. Let me just touch that before my gloves. Right there. It's gonna be right there. I gotta. Yeah. Little toucharoo. Up right there. Right? So why didn't we hear from him? Right? Now he's putting his gloves on.
Something tells me we might hear from him next time around.
Yeah. And then he puts his gloves on. Then Berkey's got to come look at it again. Because, he's in charge, even though he's got a bad shoulder, bum shoulder. And he's wearing his mask because we knew he had medical conditions at the time. All right? So that's what they lead us to believe. There's nothing going wrong. Nothing wrong with that.
No tampering. LOL.
Nope. No tampering. LOL on a Post-it note. 45 minutes missing of Sallyport video. So instead of holding Canton Police Department accountable, the select board is looking to lock in their contract, Rafferty's contract. They only have a couple weeks to decide it. They might, who knows? According to Rafferty, it's not happening. All right. But if you were running the town, wouldn't you be looking into it? Wouldn't you be looking into what your next move is? It's the same thing as keeping Brady or letting Brady go, right? You don't just do it on a one night. You look into it.
I believe there's a is there a debate tomorrow night at the library at 7:00? Is that what I heard?
Oh, is there? Unfortunately, I won't be able to make that.
Well, I'm just wondering if some of these questions will come up during that debate.
It's not going to be a debate. It's going to be a meet and greet, if anything.
With both candidates, yeah?
Yeah, remember how the last ones went, where they all get to read whatever they wanted off their scripts, tell them who they were, you know?
Well,
so
questions definitely need to be asked.
They do. And speaking of questions, people, I'm going to give I'm going to put into the chat the link. And if you want to call in, you don't want to show your face, you don't have to. But that's the link right there. If you want to call in, we'll take some calls. If you have questions, you can give us your questions. Because we probably have about 6 or 8 minutes left. I'd like to try to be done by, 9, So yeah, so there's the stream. And if you're out there, and listen, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you agree with us, if you disagree with us. If you have something to say and you want to say it diplomatically, we will allow it. If you want to come on here and say, you know what, I disagree with you, I think you're wrong, I'll give you time.
We welcome, all
I don't care.
All questions.
Yep. Absolutely. I will give you your time if you want to say, you know what, I hate everything you're doing. Okay, go ahead. I'll give you a voice.
And John, if nobody comes on, at least we know we answered all their questions.
Absolutely. If nobody wants to call in, that's fine too. That means we did a good job and nobody really wanted to talk to us. I do want to shout out to I got chastised for calling Detective Mullins my craft services the other night. She's an angel. She I'm just getting over a cold. My voice isn't back to 100%. I only had a couple pricks and citis tonight. 9. Yeah. I had 9, and she must have known. She must have known something's up because she brought me down. She brought me down some tea. So I have some tea. Yeah, but so I just want to give a shout out to, and she's a mod too.
Well done.
Mod up there
well
too.
Done, Detective Mullins. Well
done. And all the mods. Boozy's a good mod. And, how about this? I noticed is Brandy. Is Brandy in the chat?
I've seen her.
Brandy, you still in the chat? I hope she saw the opening.
So
because
Brandy wore the
Brandy
Chronicle shirt.
Hi, Brandy. Brandy, did you see the opening? Because you made the opening because the Canton Chronicle shirt made the opening. It'll be in the closing too. We're gonna make that the closing too for now. I will put a new closing in eventually, but yeah. So Brandy got a shirt. I know Neil Kelleher got his shirt. I'm getting alerts as everybody's getting their shirts. The funny thing about that Nan, the Nan shirt. So 10 people bought shirts. Every one of them bought a different color shirt. Someone bought a yellow one. Someone bought a pink one. I couldn't believe it when I was going through going, oh my God, not one person bought the same shirt. So
Brandy was a trooper today outside of Canton PD. I told her that we needed to get a picture, and she had to take a few layers off.
Oh, look at that! Yeah, she stripped.
So
she stripped in front of the police department.
It was a little chilly out, but she did it. We appreciate it. We needed that. We needed that photo.
Yeah, Barry. There was a whole. I made sure that every color I could choose from. I do. We do have some people. Some people donated tonight, and I want to thank them. Richie Chainlink Schiffer. There you go. All right. Hello, Richie. Should we put him up? Do we put up the? Do we just thank him, or do we put him up?
Put them up and read what they had to
Put 'em up.
say.
All right, Richie. Hi, you all. Hi, ya all. That's what Richie had. You know, Richie,
Y'all.
great man. I'm sure that Richie, we got to talk because you're due for some more shenanigans. Things I don't want you to get complacent over there. I'm going to come up with something for you. Shouldn't have done that, Dennis. Dennis, $20. Thank you so much, Dennis.
Dennis, you're a good man.
Great man. He's back out in front of. He's everywhere. Both and Brenda, they're everywhere.
A couple weeks
ago,
he's in Dedham at the sidewalks, chipping the 5 inches of ice to just so people had a nice, safe place to walk. It was unbelievable.
Yep. This is a Meatball Morrissey's Skedistain. Kids a magical place. Lawns come alive in the dark of the night to unalive men. Blink twice, videos disappear. Absolutely. The measurement thing. Anyone knows you take a measurement off a fixed object. 3 feet from here, 4 feet from here. I get it. I gained 2 wristbands since Christmas. Love your show. Thank you. Thank you, Meatball. We got DS. I put this one up. I'll put it back up. I remember when the kiddies were playing hard. Yeah, I gotta hate when kiddies play hard. And then he did it again. He did it again with shout out to Joey Diaz. Who's Joey Diaz? Who's Joey? Joey, hi, Joey Diaz. You know who I didn't see tonight at all in the regular comments was he was in the comments the other night.
I'm not sure who you're talking about.
Not the Hammer. What was he called? You probably.
Was there a theme to his comments that?
I sent you the person in the I put it in the private chat what the person's real name is. I can't remember the handle on that person. No, it wasn't Half Hammer.
Oh, that's H Rock Doctor.
H Rock Doctor. Yeah, whatever.
Rock Doctor.
Didn't see him tonight.
He must be on the replay crowd.
Yeah, Susan Cleveland. I'll tell you, there were some big names in the chat tonight. Did we see?
Saw Kelly Reed in the chat.
I saw Kelly Reed. No, yes, that's a big name. I was talking for. Here's a big get. I was the content creators. There was Boozy, and who's the one that does all those videos? She's got that really soft voice. You guys know who you're talking about. The one that I love that it can put you to sleep if you really need to. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying her voice is so soft. She's the one that did all the videos on the house. Dream Feed Media. Yeah, Dream Feed Media was in there. Yeah. Serious question. Oh, we got a serious question. Oh, Mary Malaki. Why hasn't one law enforcement stepped up against local cops? I'll tell you why. Because there is a blue line. They don't want to be blackballed. They don't want to lose their job. I mean, you're talking about, these people provide for their families. They're making hundreds of thousands of dollars. They'd never get a job in law enforcement again. They'd be looked down on. They think they'd always be head over their shoulder, looking out, I'm going to get pulled over. You name it. They're not going to say anything. They'd rather just look, hey, you know what? It wasn't me. I wasn't any part of that. I know what happened, but I'm not part of it, so I'm not saying a word. It's what happens. Or a lot of times there's been another a small indiscretion that they may have had. and it got taken care of. So it's one of those, hey, I looked out for you, now you look out for me. It's literally how it goes in that business.
And I'm sure that if you say something that's not toting the line, that you're watching your back every day.
Right. I heard from one that said, I will not say anything because I don't want to go to a call and not have backup because they labeled me a rat.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what they do. Know what it's like to be labeled a rat,
It's easy to get frustrated that they're not speaking up, but I totally understand why they don't. I'll still tell you that whether we're on the sidewalks in Canton a lot, and we get waves from certain Canton PD, we get waves from certain state police that drive by. They're quiet, but they got their ways of letting you know.
Here's the other thing. Another state trooper said to me one day, he goes, you never know who's going to be your next boss. Could be the guy below you, could be a guy. You never know. And so that's what they live in. So they are. It's the money, it's the living in fear and not wanting to come forward. They're not going to come forward and then just, dig ditches for the rest of their life? I'll tell you what, world needs ditch diggers too. I'm one of them. People. So, local store owner now asked me, did you bring more ducks? I set them up on this White Claws display. That's awesome. Apparently, this hit the, I didn't get anything other than this. On the Canton scanner today, strike that, it was yesterday. On the scanner yesterday, somebody called the police because ducks were delivered to their house. Just saying. They called because ducks were delivered to their house.
Live ducks?
No, little ducks.
I know.
You know what I might call? I mean, I know someone. I know someone in town that someone in town is getting a whole bunch of tulip bulbs delivered to them.
You know this?
Yeah.
How do you know this?
Yeah. Someone's getting tulip bulbs, and my my advice to them is I would plant them. I would plant those tulip bulbs. I love tulips. Would you?
They come back year after year.
Would you? How's it go? Would you rather have roses on your piano or tulips on your organ? I don't know. It's just how it goes. So, Eric, you know how when we're getting the show together, like everyone's texting, you're half an hour to showtime, and some people wishing you good luck and this and that, and you're like, oh my God, you're frazzled because you're trying to get, and that's why I was muted. You're trying to set this all up. I took a call. Guy called me trying to sell me a casket. Like, that's the last thing I need.
I bet. Yeah, you're right. It is the last thing you need.
It's the last thing I need. Yeah. So.
Just make sure you buy the extended warranty.
Yeah. Chrissy, I don't know why tulip bulbs. I just know that they're getting tulip bulbs. And, any news on the house they destroyed? Well, that was in the Citizen. They will not be releasing any information because the kids were minors, and some of them, their parents work in the town. So, you're never going to hear it. Just like you didn't hear about the kid that got pulled off the bus a couple of years ago. There was a sexual assault issue, and there was a player. But I'll tell you, good news. Canton's boys hockey team is going to the Garden to play for the Division 2 hockey championship yet again. That's the one thing you can count on in Canton is that our hockey team. Yep.
This is what
our hockey team's going to be good.
This is what they do.
Mm-hmm. We just win, baby. I don't know if they're playing Tewksbury or Bill Ricka. I didn't pay attention to who won that game, but Canton's going to the Garden.
When is that? Do you know?
I do know. I might go to that too. if I'm not coaching. Because somebody asked me and I looked it up. March 16th. March 16th at the Garden, folks, is going to be the MIAA championship games. So, it's not terrifying, and I think the power is all in longevity. The longer you're in a job of that, that profession, the more you get on people, and I think that's what's going on here. I think
Knowledge is power, right?
Knowledge is power. Yeah. Bill Ricka won, so it's going to be Canton Bill Ricka on March 16th. No, they don't. It's the football team and the soccer team that does, and the wrestlers. It's the football and wrestlers that practice with the bunnies. Hockey team, they're straight up. They're good. They yeah. So look at that. The question's coming fast and furious now, huh? Yep. I'm gonna throw this out one last time. I don't even know if that made it to, did that let me know if that link made it to the YouTube people. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. I just want to make sure it worked. Did you guys see that StreamYard link posted in your comments? Hopefully.
I can see it, but I'm on.
Yeah, but you're in StreamYard.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So they just don't want to talk to us. Yeah, they just don't want to talk to us.
Where's Gary Titus when we need him?
I know. Gary wants to come on so bad. Yeah, not tonight. He's probably somewhere meeting people. Yeah, but they I'll tell you, Canton travels well. I've been to some of the games. Not this year. I didn't go this year. I played hockey, so there was one year. So Canton made the finals. It was Canton Saugus. And in the semifinals, Canton had to play Somerville. And there was a big brawl at the end. And it was Somerville's fault, but the Canton kids ended up beating the crud out of Somerville. And they got themselves in a little trouble. Well, Canton has a very good lawyer in Glenn Hannington who stood up and got an injunction so that the kids could play in the finals. And I was at that game, and the guy on the other side, Saugus, was chanting, "Call your lawyer," right? And all the Canton people were like, "You're from Saugus." It was great. It's hockey. It was great. It was awesome. Nothing better than like high school and college sports. As much as
high school hockey is one of the best sports to watch in high school.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Len. He's the hockey lawyer, and I'll tell you, I like Glenn a lot. He's been my lawyer in the past. He's not anymore. His name is on every hockey rink board in the town and maybe some other ones. He helped my father. He coached alongside with my father some of the youth hockey. So I've been up to Canada with him a couple times, and I don't have anything bad to say about Glenn. He's a good guy, So, no. What were the hockey chants on Wednesday, Boozy? Tell us about the hockey chants that happened last Wednesday. I know there was some wrestling chants that went out that just weren't, that had something to do with the case, but Coco, I can't put the phone numbers up yet because we're still new at this and we don't have the phone capability. But if you click on the link, you don't have to put your face up. You can just keep the little letter or whatever thing up.
Avatar.
Yeah, the avatar. Or we'll have to give me a week or two and I'll figure out the phone thing. I mean, we're 5-6 weeks in, and I now have I did mute myself at the beginning. That was something new.
Listen, a year from now, you'll be a professional.
You think I'm going to make it a year from now? What did you say you wanted me to be? What did you say you wanted me to be? Legit? No, not legit. You said you wanted me to be. What you said that you wanted me to be credible? Yeah,
credible.
You said you wanted me to be credible.
I do.
My reporting. You wanted my reporting to be, oh, wait a minute. Did we miss it? Hit the like, boozy beauty, military lawyer, dissected Brian Albert's testimony yesterday. Oh, well, let's see this real quick. Part 2 later. Not too sure how many times he said he's disgusting on the part of the prosecution. Judge trolls BM. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, so you wanted me to be credible. Look at me. Oh, I got back to it. I can't believe. And I'm like, I go, you really think that I can pull this off and stay credible? Right?
Listen, it's you put yourself out there. You might as if you're gonna put your name on these articles, make sure they're 100%. Double check your sources.
Yeah. Well, I was wrong on that one.
That's okay.
Listen, I've lived my life being incredible, and now you want me to be credible.
What I'm happy,
I like being incredible.
I love you are incredible. At least you were man enough to admit, you made a mistake.
Yeah, I got that one wrong. Folks.
Okay.
All right, I jumped the gun on that one. All right. Hey, I'll tell you what. They'd be stupid not to be talking about this, though, because to give them 2 weeks to figure out whether or not they want to do it.
Oh, we don't really think there's no backroom conversations going, do we?
Well, we just saw that that's what they did the first time. The fact that they showed up to a meeting, they let everybody sit there, and Mike Loughran knew that when they got to that topic, he wasn't going to let anyone speak. He even said it. He could have told everyone at the very beginning of the meeting, "Hey, we've already made up our minds, people.
Yeah.
We don't want to hear from you. We know you took time out of your day. You came home and then you came up to town hall and you wanted to talk about it, but we're not going to let you. We're not going to do it."
We got 400 emails. We don't need, you've all said.
Yeah, we read the emails. Right, and we made up our mind. And we're going to vote on it in public right in front of you while you guys all have your meltdowns.
Hey, but the good
By
news,
the way, I was first in line to talk that night, and yeah.
The good news is we're going back into the Sala meeting room.
Oh, that's right.
How
People,
about
they're coming back. They're coming back to in-person meetings, Mary Malaki. You believe? Yeah, I have my pants on. I got my shirt on, too, tonight. I kept my shirt on. My shirt and pants are on. Yep.
Are you gonna be putting on any costumes for that day, or I mean, is a duck gonna walk in, or
That's
an
once
elephant in the
again.
room? Coffee
No.
cup, maybe?
Unfortunately, it's due to two things. One, I'm a man of my word, people. I told Mike Loughran and the chief and Duty in a private meeting at town hall that I wasn't going to come back if they had brought that back to when we met for 3 hours. It was the same day that they had that Pequot Side Farm debacle of the police audit committee. I was up at town hall for 3 hours, and I told them I'm not gonna go in front of Mike's house anymore. I'm not gonna do standouts, and I wasn't gonna show up for the first meeting when they come back. I told them that, and they never followed through on their half. They never tried to come back. So I followed through on my half. They didn't. Just saying. It was all backroom politics. And that was all they wanted, was to get me not to walk in that Halloween parade. That's what they wanted. They wanted me to not walk in the Halloween parade. Maybe, perhaps, if I had made that deal and said, okay, if I don't walk in the parade, will you go back to meetings? But they still probably wouldn't have. They probably still would have. No, we're going to do it our way. But I'm a man of my word. So, no, I'm not going to be there that first night. I'm not going to add to it. Maybe I'll go live and report on it, but maybe I'll go live right afterwards. I don't know. We'll see. But, no, I'm not going to go.
You've got work to do.
Yeah, I got other things. I got stuff to do. We can't go live every night. This once a week, people. So our goal is once a week. If another one pops up, it would probably be on a Thursday night here or there. I shouldn't say we. You got a mouse in your pocket. It's mostly me. I don't have it in me to do. I want quality over quantity. All right, we're a little startup station. station, YouTube show, whatever. I don't have the guests every night. I don't have it in me to do this every night. Yes, we're gonna have the van, right? We are gonna have the van, right?
Absolutely.
That's election night. Election day, folks. I want you guys tuning in with us. We're gonna be live. We're gonna be live from the different polling locations, and then we're gonna be up at town hall. We're gonna be live at town hall on election night, covering that election. So yeah, we're happy right now with Sunday nights, 7 to 9. Look at this, 9:18.
John, this show takes us 3-4 days to put together before we ever get to 7 o'clock on Sunday.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work, Glenn. It is a lot of work. Hey, you got to have goals. You got to have goals, Glenn. I do like the way you think, Glenn. Yeah. So we want to do every Sunday night. Next week. Oh,
yeah. Let's preview next week because I think next week's a big week.
Next week, it's going to be. We're going to be talking next week all about Birchmore. We're gonna have Mizzy on, and we're going to talk about all the. She's gonna let us know everything that's going on with Birchmore. I will say there's a Twitter troll. I can't believe we have no trolls. They could care less about us.
It's only
was
one.
it? Yeah, they could care less about us. Yeah, so we're gonna have Mizzy on. Truth be told, once again, it ties with all the people from Karen Reed. Yes, I graduated with someone that's connected to the Birchmore case, and that was Rob Devine. It's like nonstop. There's this one guy, I think I know who it is too, and I'm like, there's a lot of Twitter trolls out there, people, and my advice is if they don't want to tell you their real name, you don't have to answer them. No. You don't have to engage with them. You don't have to do anything. You just let them go. Because I watch these people. They have like 22 people that see their comment. It's their 22 people. And I don't care. Yes, I went to high school with this guy. That's probably the extent of. I've seen him at a reunion here or there. I've probably engaged with him 4 times in the last 25 years.
And I think the important thing to remember about the Sandra Birchmore case is the district attorney in Norfolk County still has that listed as a suicide, and the DOJ, the feds, have arrested somebody for murder. So how do you have it both ways on this one? And
Dude, your police audit committee wouldn't even say her name.
Right.
They had to be screamed at for someone to say her name. They didn't even say it right. They had it wrong.
Get the name right. Yeah.
They didn't even get the name right.
Yeah, that was a little. I was frustrated that night.
Yeah. So next week that's going to be our show next week. We're gonna have Mizzy on. People, I'll check them and I will thank them privately. Some people reached out and sent me a Venmo. I know my phone went off once or twice. I haven't looked at it yet. I want to thank you. If anyone, like I said, I'm putting stuff up daily. You go to the Chronicle, printify me. Every day I'm trying to put something up that you guys would like, so that instead of donating, if you want to buy something, at least you're getting something for your money.
And John, I think the other thing too is that we would really like to see people come over to our Facebook page, the Canton Chronicle.
Oh, invite anyone. So
invite your friends.
Invite your friends to the Chronicle. Here's the problem with the Chronicle. It's not a problem. It's a private page, but it is. You can see it's not hidden. It's a private page. It's not hidden. Because it had started out as a private page, you can't now make it public. And I just don't want to start a new public page. So just invite anyone that you want. The only one I don't want you guys inviting are those people that wash your cars Don't invite someone that's going to put those ads up that they're going to detail your car because they're good people and they lost
friends
half
that
their
you know
family.
might be interested in this.
Right.
Or you think
No,
should be interested in this.
Mizzy doesn't stop talking. Well, then she's in it. Then she's in for something because I don't either.
I'll be up in the corner.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Uh-oh. I got the look. So I think we ran over time here. No. Hold on. Take over for 1 second. I got to hit mute.
I can only imagine what's going on in there right now. No, but really we're very excited to have Mizzy. Mizzy's awesome. She has, been instrumental in all the Sandra Birchmore and getting awareness out there. The standouts and if you ever get a chance to talk to Mizzy, she's just a nice person.
Yes. And I think someone else gave a super chat and I can't find it. And then I'll tell you,
We're still learning. We're still learning.
We're learning. We are learning, people. And I 100% understand, and I give all of those content creators a round of applause for what they do night in and night out and how they are able to manage this stuff. All right? Because, here I am. I'm trying to look over here. I'm trying to talk to you, and I'm trying to give everybody credit where credit's due that gave us something. And then, oh, look at that. I did miss one. There you go. So, and Digi, you're crushing it. So we got 250 from Detective Mullins. Thanks for giving YouTube 250. Oh my God. That's why I say, listen, if you want to buy something, right, you're going to get something back. I get it.
Yeah.
Listen, the being monetized thing is, it's really not about the money. It's about letting you guys have your different colors and putting up the things and letting you have your say, because I can't keep track of the chats as much as I want to. And so that was in it for me, as much as I'm like, well, YouTube's getting half of it, so I'll try to keep putting up stuff and here's the thing. If you have a suggestion on something you want, go ahead, send me a text. I'll try to put it, but it's got to be either Pricks and Cider or Canton Chronicle. It's got to tie into that, and I'll do my best to give you what you want.
Did you see this one?
Yeah, yeah. Got to keep my pants on. I told her I got my shirt on, I got my pants on, and no, you can buy a Pricks and Cider for your wife. Yeah. I mean, do you have a chair in your bedroom? I don't. You know what? I don't know. To me, it really isn't about the donos. By the end of the year, would I like to have paid for, StreamYard, a couple mics and a camera? Yeah. After that, I really don't want. I don't. The money is not the motivator. It's the talking about Canton. It's the allowing anyone from Canton to come on.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's what it is about it. That's what at least that's what I wanted.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we welcome all voices. You don't have to be like-minded and think the same way we do. Or you and I don't always get along. So
yeah,
we get along. We just don't always agree.
That chicken soup, by the way, tonight, I ran out of time. I was gonna have Post-it notes all over my body that said LOL. I was planning on just having them all over and sitting here going hello. But what happens is
so
we get caught trying to make sure that everything comes out right, and and a little of that happens, and next thing you know, it's like, holy crap, we're on in 10 minutes.
You had chicken bird soup.
I had chicken bird soup. No, it was the chicken. No, it was a tuna fish sandwich versus chicken bird sandwich. Like, seriously, why do people say tuna fish sandwich. Why isn't it just a tuna sandwich? No one says chicken bird sandwich. Right? Nobody says it. But everybody says, oh, Neil Kelleher, Neil got his shirt.
Yes, he did.
And people, if you buy something, you take a picture, we'll put it on. Like I said, though, if you buy the bathing suit or the undies, you don't have the bathing suit if you're at the beach. The undies, that don't be sending me those. I'm telling you up front, send them. Show your hubby, show your boyfriend, and just we'll take your word for it. We'll take your word for it. Yeah, just a fish sandwich, right? Well, how many other fish sandwiches do you eat? There's tuna fish sandwich. Who has a haddock sandwich? Well, I guess is there haddock at McDonald's? I guess I don't know. But yeah, so that's our goal, and hopefully we entertained you guys tonight. Yeah, Eric, did you have fun?
I always have fun, John.
Yeah, I had fun. No, you're right, Suzanne Cleveland. There can never be too many pricks and ciders. As much as Eric, by the way, folks, Eric's not really a fan of ciders. So, yeah.
What do you mean?
We're moving away from that. We need a new sponsor.
No. It's the timing of it all. I think that there's an appropriate time, and sometimes
not with me. I'm never appropriate. Dude, I'm a 12-year-old in a 52-year-old body.
I just look at it this way.
Yeah.
When the show's on, we wait until the end of the show for the.
Are you trying to make sure you make me like professional? Are you trying to make me go mainstream? Incredible. I'm incredible. Dennis, good night. Hey, guys, we're gonna on that note, we're gonna leave you with our open, which is a close, but we'll be changing that soon too. So everybody, good night from me.
Have a great night, everybody.
Say good night, Eric.
Thanks for coming.
Bye, guys. Oh my God, Eric.